In the world of fine dining, betrayal rarely announces itself with raised voices or broken plates. It slips in quietly, like a hairline crack in porcelain, invisible until the entire dish collapses. This is a true crime story rooted not in bloodshed, but in something just as destructive: greed, deception, and the slow, calculated attempt to destroy a man from the inside of his own restaurant. For you watching and listening to this story, you are among our family here. If this story interests you, please do well to watch till the end, like, share, comment where you are watching from, for us to know where our stories and voices have reached. From our utmost heart, we will appreciate you if you subscribe to our channel. This is the story of a restaurant director who disguised his identity to uncover a plot engineered by the very manager he trusted. It is a story of secret spreadsheets, staged incompetence, silent observation, and the long road from betrayal to regret and, finally, forgiveness. Names have been changed. Events have been reconstructed from court records, financial audits, and first-hand testimony. What happened behind those swinging kitchen doors is real. The restaurant was called Vantaggio. It sat on the corner of an old stone street, where history clung to the bricks, and the air smelled faintly of garlic and rain. For 10 consecutive years, Vantaggio had been named one of the city's top dining destinations. Critics praised its balance of ambition and warmth. Customers booked tables months in advance. Investors smiled. At the center of it all stood Adrian Morello, the director and founder. Adrian was not a celebrity chef. He was something rarer, a systems thinker with a soul. He understood food, but more importantly, he understood people. He built Vantaggio from a failing bakery he purchased with a second mortgage and a quiet, unshakable belief that excellence, when protected, could outlast trends. By the time Vantaggio peaked, Adrian no longer worked the floor. He oversaw strategy, supplier relationships, expansion talks. Day-to-day operations belonged to his trusted general manager, Marcus Hale. Marcus had been with Adrian for 8 years. That was the first mistake. Marcus Hale was efficient in the way that inspires confidence. His shirts were always pressed. His numbers are always prepared. He spoke with the calm assurance of someone who appeared to have nothing to hide. Employees liked him. Vendors respected him. Adrian trusted him. Marcus managed staff schedules, approved invoices, coordinated with suppliers, and reported weekly financials directly to Adrian. When the restaurant expanded its wine program, Marcus, then a longtime supplier, quietly stopped delivering. When Adrian asked why, Marcus shrugged. "They're unreliable now. We found a better option." The numbers continued to bleed. Reservations remained strong, yet profit thinned like soup stretched too far. Adrian felt it before he could prove it. Something was wrong inside his restaurant. The warning came from an unexpected source. A junior accountant named Lena Ortiz asked for a private meeting. She brought no accusations, only confusion. "I think the invoices are being rerouted," she said carefully. "Not all of them, just some." She slid a folder across the desk. Inside were duplicates of vendor bills with altered routing information. Shell companies. Slightly modified names. Clean paperwork hiding dirty intent. Adrian felt the room tilt. Marcus Hale was bankrupting him. Adrian could have confronted Marcus. He could have called lawyers. Instead, he chose something far riskier. He decided to disappear. Within weeks, Adrian announced he would be stepping back due to health concerns. Publicly, he relinquished oversight entirely to Marcus. Privately, he grew a beard, dyed his hair, and applied for a job under a false name. The position, night dishwasher. The disguise was simple, effective, invisible. The director of one of the city's finest restaurants returned as a ghost in his own kitchen. As Antonio Rossi, Adrian scrubbed plates until his hands cracked. He listened. He watched. He learned how Marcus operated when he thought no one important was looking. Staff were overworked and underpaid. Supplies were wasted intentionally. Inventory disappeared. Alcohol was poured down drains or sold out the back door. Marcus laughed in the office while the kitchen struggled. Adrian ate alone in the shadows. Over weeks, Adrian pieced together the full scheme. Marcus had partnered with an external investment group. The goal was elegant in its cruelty. Drain Vantaggio's cash reserves, inflate expenses, sabotage supplier relationships, force insolvency, buy the restaurant at auction for pennies. Marcus wasn't stealing to get rich. He was stealing to replace Adrian. The deepest cut came not from the money, but from the lies. Marcus spoke warmly of Adrian's vision while dismantling it piece by piece. He framed, but he did. Not for Marcus. For himself. Vantaggio reopened fully staffed. Wages increased. Transparency became policy. The kitchen felt lighter. Adrian still visits the kitchen. Sometimes anonymously. Sometimes not. He never forgets what he learned while eating in the shadows. This true crime story is not about a restaurant. It is about power, trust, and what happens when greed mistakes patience for weakness. Betrayal doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers from the office while the dishes pile up. And sometimes the only way to catch a thief is to become invisible. This story isn't just about a restaurant or a crime hidden behind balance sheets. It's about trust and how fragile it becomes when left unexamined. The first lesson is this: authority should never replace accountability. Even the most reliable systems fail when one person holds unchecked power. Transparency is not suspicion. It is protection. The second lesson is harder. Greed often disguises itself as entitlement. Marcus didn't begin as a villain. He became one slowly, convincing himself that what he wanted was something he deserved. Most betrayals are not sudden explosions. They are quiet justifications repeated until conscience goes silent. The third lesson is about awareness. Problems rarely announce themselves loudly. They appear as small inconsistencies, subtle discomforts, and moments we choose to ignore because confronting them feels inconvenient. Intuition is often the first alarm. Listening to it can save everything. And finally, the most difficult lesson: forgiveness is not weakness. Justice holds people accountable. Forgiveness frees the one who was hurt. Letting go does not erase the damage. It prevents the damage from owning the future. If you stayed with this story until the end, thank you. Thank you for listening closely. Thank you for caring about the human cost behind numbers, titles, and headlines. Stories like this matter because they remind us that real crime doesn't always wear a mask or carry a weapon. Sometimes it sits behind a desk and smiles. Your time is valuable, and choosing to spend it here means you value truth, reflection, and accountability. That matters more than views or algorithms ever will. If this story made you think, share it with someone who needs the reminder. If it makes you uncomfortable, sit with that feeling. Growth often begins there. And if you've ever built something with your own hands, your own sacrifices, and your own trust, this story is for you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And thank you for seeing what happens in the shadows.